The video shows a glimpse of what life was like for WNBA star Brittney Griner inside Russian prison. She spent her days carrying fabric because she was too tall to sit at the sewing tables where other prisoners worked. Her bed was too small for her 6'9" frame. Griner was arrested back in February for traveling with hashish oil, a substance banned in Russia. She was sentenced to 9 years in prison in August. Her release part of a prisoner swap for Viktor Bout, a convicted Russian arms dealer.
Hold on. After being imprisoned in a Russian male jail, Brittney Griner is now facing criticism for assaulting Caitlin Clark. This is not just another sports story. It's a major issue. America's sweetheart Caitlin Clark was just elbowed by the WNBA's most contentious star on live television. But what occurred next will shock you to your core. It all comes down to her identity, and we're going to reveal everything.
But apparently, Brittney Griner is, in fact, a man.
Doctors are taking over, and the information they are disclosing about Guerrier's medical background has shocked the league as a whole. We are discussing bone structure and speech patterns.
It was nice to be back on the court in a real game and everything.
Instagram videos and AI scans that shouldn't have been there. She is in a panic because this could be the biggest scandal in women's sports history. Stay tuned because what we learn could completely alter your preconceived notions about the WNBA. Brittney Griner is who she claims to be. Did the WNBA know and cover it up? Trust me, this goes far beyond basketball. Let's go back to the moment that made everything different. Fever versus Mercury was a fierce fight, but things quickly turned from physical to personal.
Caitlin Clark did not back down when the Atlanta Dream got chippy with her. Especially Ryan Howard was trying to get on Caitlin her nerves, but she kept cooking her. And they were face guarding her the entire game like she was prime Steph Curry.
There's a lot of bumping and like that. And there's some words between the two players as Nas Hilton quickly.
And at the end of this altercation, you can clearly see Caitlin Clark say, "I'm not scared of you." And Howard continued to be provocative. And after Caitlin drew this offensive foul on Brittney Griner, it looked like she was pretty annoyed with her.
Brittney moved.
And here she gets clearly fouled, and again they were chirping at her afterwards.
Shooting 31, they came in the season. Ryan Howard, Caitlin Clark finding a way to...
And here Brittney Griner picked up her 6th foul and had to sit for the rest of the game. You could clearly see what she was saying.
Talking about earlier today.
Brittney Griner is more than simply a bad guy. You could feel the tension rising through your screen when Caitlin Clark stumbled but didn't respond. She continued playing, but social media didn't overlook it. She just threw an elbow, and it wasn't one of those heat of the game bumps. Lip readers verified what fans were afraid of when people began to focus on Guerrier's face. The thing is, trash talk happens in basketball, everyone knows that, but this went too far into something more dangerous, something racial, something ugly, and the league has yet to issue a warning, a statement, or a fine. The white girl Guerrier, mouth trash, __, in front of millions of people on national television. Fans weren't going to let this go. The elbow was simply the spark, even though they didn't see it or wanted to deal with it. What people discovered next extended this narrative well beyond the basketball floor, and the questions that followed were overwhelming.
But my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram.
Okay, this is where it starts to feel like a Netflix documentary. Suddenly, sports medicine experts began to comment, and no, they weren't discussing Griner's statistics or playmaking. Rather, they were discussing her biology. Doctors, therapists, and even AI analysts started examining Guerrier's physical characteristics, including her shoulders, bones, and how quickly she recovers from injuries. One expert even said, "That's not typical for a female athlete, especially not at this level."
The women have a league. As far as I understand, it's mostly women without penises, but I leave that to you to figure it. Well, it's actually a little unclear because this Brittney Griner, a lot of people think she's a dude, but in any event, Brittney Griner is a black basketball player who some people think is a man. I don't know. I guess she's a woman. Let's just say she's a woman. Here's a chick, a black chick. Brittney Griner's a fine player, I suppose. We'll get to that in a minute.
It wasn't hate. It wasn't trolling. Rather, it was professionals bringing attention to something that had been disregarded or perhaps even concealed. At that point, the public began to wonder if the league had ever thoroughly examined Guerrier's eligibility to play in the WNBA, if doctors were raising concerns, or if the league should be ignoring them. Let's talk about receipts because, in today's world, everything leaves a digital trail. An old Instagram story about Griner resurfaced, with nothing new other than the fact that it featured her topless, with no surgical scars or blurs, just up there for everyone to see. The worst part is that Instagram didn't remove it.
Flag you, Brittney. Let me see something real quick. Brick, thank you. Get the hell out of here, yo. Jabbed up and hit the brick. Swing and a miss.
Oh!
Yo, I ain't gonna fake it right now.
Flag is down for
All
the
right,
count.
we can stop it.
Instagram's AI filters are incredibly adept at identifying nudity, particularly female nudity, if you know anything about them, but this one remained active for more than 2 years.
Yeah, so let's talk about it, guys. Again, allegedly, it could be any number of things, but my first inclination is to say that this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male and therefore being topless on the platform was totally fine. It did not constitute as nudity.
Therefore, either the algorithms were flawed or it failed to recognize female anatomy. Consider that the AI system of a billion-dollar corporation failed to recognize her as female. What does that tell us? Can AI make mistakes? Yes, but do you trust it more than a sports league that keeps quiet? You know, what's worse than a scandal is a cover-up, and that's what this is beginning to feel like. The WNBA hasn't stated anything, clarified anything, or apologized to Caitlin Clark. Now, imagine if the roles were reversed and Caitlin had insulted Brittney and used a racial slur. Would the league remain silent?
She gets bodied, dude, like NFL linebacker style.
What that is crazy.
Yeah. Look at this. Clock her ass, man.
Yeah, black women hate her.
Dude, I don't even see like LeBron get battered like this.
Yeah.
And he, like, somebody has bad breath and they breathe on him and he goes flying back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, she actually spoke out for black women. There's a black women's league.
Yeah, she's like a leftist.
She's like a cuck for black women.
Yeah,
and they beat the crap out of her.
Well, that's what happens when you cuck out to people. They don't respect you.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think she did it to hope to get that respect. Yeah. That is not going to work.
Look at this.
You get way too much attention. You making all this money and endorsements. They're jealous of you. She's like the face of that league.
Yeah, and she's the only person like really putting butts in the seats.
Yeah.
Precisely, we can see that the league is defending its reputation, even if it means disregarding medical experts and allowing a player like Clark to take the fall. And the quiet isn't just strange, it's suspicious. Would you continue to watch a league that tolerates this? Returning to the doctors, they performed a thorough checklist based on years of professional observation, not in a lab. They examined skeletal structure, muscle composition, recovery rates, and voice patterns, and everything pointed to one thing. This doesn't match the typical female elite athlete, and even her injury history raised suspicions. Despite the fact that she recovers like an NFL linebacker, the majority of WNBA players require time to recuperate from physical stress. For this reason, medical professionals are now urging complete biological verification. Hormone analysis using chromosomal testing bone density tests because women's sports equity is important, not because they want to embarrass anyone.
Brittney is a weird case. He's a man, yes, that much is obvious, but not in the way that you think. He isn't trans. He's a straight cis male who was raised as a girl and given a girl's name by his parents. His mother is the insane one. She forced him to live as a female right up through high school, filled out all of his paperwork, including BC as female, and kept the charade going. He played on girls' sports teams because his paper said he was a girl. He had to keep pretending in college, stay in women's teams, and now he just has to keep barely pretending to stay in the WNBA. But in all other ways, he lives life as a man. He wears men's clothes, dates and married a woman, has masculine features, and takes masculine roles. If not for his mother's insanity, he would be a mediocre male player in the NBA. And honestly, that may even be a little bit generous.
There is more to this than just bones and bruises. Shouldn't all athletes compete on an even playing field? Experts in mental health have also stepped in, and what they're witnessing is unnerving that elbow, that slur. Some claim that it's about identity stress, leading a double life while hiding from something significant. When that pressure builds up over time, it explodes, and regrettably, Caitlin Clark became the outlet. Now, picture yourself as Caitlin, a rookie sensation carrying the league on your back and then being attacked by a veteran in front of millions of people. What message does that send to other young women in the sport? What kind of culture is the WNBA fostering if this is what it protects? Let's talk about the real repercussions. If all of this medical talk is true, and Griner's biology doesn't fit the rules for women's sports, this isn't just a controversy. It could be fraud. Can you imagine losing your Olympic spot or college scholarship to someone who shouldn't be competing? That's not only unfair. For some athletes, it's the end of their career. Lawyers are already speculating that this could lead to a flurry of lawsuits, and if the WNBA knew about it, that would create a whole other legal mess.
Way, I feel sorry for him because all of his success depends on him maintaining the lie he's lived with for his whole life. Of course, Russia gives zero shits and will treat him as the male he is. Maybe it'll be a refreshing change from him. And this is with, of course, reference to the fact that there was some speculation that Brittney Griner was actually put in a male prison.
Other sports organizations, including soccer, swimming, and Olympic committees, are following this story in real time because should the WNBA be implicated in a scandal this significant, all women's sports will have to deal with the same issues. What does eligibility mean? How is fairness enforced? How can you maintain fans' trust? If the league ignores it, it sends the message that we care more about image than integrity. This might set a precedent. Do you think this will alter the way women's sports are run generally? Let's face it, the WNBA has been working hard for years to gain some attention, develop a fan base, break attendance records, and prove the product is genuine. Just when things were starting to get better, this mess drops a top player. Brittney Griner may have been concealing her biological advantages and the league crickets when she was spotted elbowing the league's biggest emerging star. Nothing similar has occurred, and it's a true catastrophe rather than just a terrible look.
And the reason why is because, let me tell you something right now. I'm not going to go to word hate. I'm not going to be out there like RG3 was saying that Angel Reese hates Caitlin Clark or other players hate Caitlin Clark. But I will say this. I don't think it's specific about Caitlin Clark. I think it's what Caitlin Clark represents. See, it's no fault of Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark balled. She balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being fourth in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm. And they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had. They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we was doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here. And y'all wasn't paying attention then. But now the young white girl comes along and y'all want to sit up there and shower all of this praise and all of this attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark. It's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
This isn't just a scandal, though. It's a ticking time bomb that could blow up everything the WNBA has been working to build. If handled poorly, one controversy could undo years of progress. All that momentum gone. And for what? Look, this story is far from over. We've seen the elbow, heard the slur, the Instagram video is out, medical professionals are speaking up, the AI stuff is wild, and Griner is dead silent, not even tweeting. She's either lawyering up behind the scenes or praying that this goes away, but let me be honest with you, people care. Fans are angry, players are whispering in private, sponsors are beginning to voice their concerns, and let's not forget that the future of women's sports is at stake. So, will the WNBA finally end its silence, start a serious investigation, or double down and hope that everyone just forgets? If you believe in justice, truth, and defending women's sports, hit the like button and leave your thoughts in the comment section because this isn't just drama. It's bigger than basketball, and we're not done yet, so be sure to subscribe.